What is the right way to cook a steak? How do you get all of the steaks for all of your guests perfect at the same time? How do you get good color on a steak? How do you prevent your steak from boiling in its own juices? And how do you get the best flavor out of your steak? This lesson is going to answer all of those questions for you. And the most important thing you need to know about cooking steak is that you need a high heat and you need dry meat. So high heat and dry meat. And the rest I'm going to explain to you now. We're going to look at two different ways to cook a steak. We're going to look at the worst possible way you could cook a steak, and then obviously what I think is the best way. And we're going to be using a griddle pan today. So this is one of these cast iron heavy griddle pans. They sell them to you based on the fact that you'll get like beautiful black lines on your steak, but not many people know how to use these properly. The first thing I'm going to do is show you what I think people do wrong when they use these. So the basic principles are that you need high heat and dry meat. And dry means no water or no moisture, not no oil. Oil is actually dry, believe it or not. So anything cooked in oil is actually a dry cooking technique. And if you want to understand that all the way to the end, try and burn something by boiling it, burn something by frying it, and you'll soon realize that frying is actually dry because you can burn stuff. The biggest mistake people make when they're grilling steak is that they don't season their steak, and then they use a cold pan, and especially on a griddle pan, a cold pan is suicide. So I've got a mound of steak here, and I'm gonna choose one to sacrifice. So if you look here, you can see this steak has got like lots of moisture on it. It's unseasoned, and this griddle pan is cold. And I'm gonna leave it on a medium heat or low heat. And then I'm going to leave all the excess moisture on the pan, and I'm just going to drop it gently into the griddle pan. And you'll hear there's no sizzle, nothing. And what you'll see is there are actually bubbles of juice coming out the bottom of the steak. And that's not sizzle, that's actually steam. So at the moment the steak is just boiling in its own juices. And just to look, it's also stuck to the pan a bit. Oh. But no griddle lines or anything. Just grey and very sad. And what you have after that technique, a beautiful grey steak. There's no crispy fat, there are no lines on the steak, and you can smell it. It basically smells like boarding house food. So what I'm going to show you now is how to not do this and how to make your steak incredible. Okay, so you've seen how to do it badly. Now I'm going to show you how to do it well. And over and above that, I'm going to show you how to prepare a medium rare, a medium, and a medium well steak so that you can serve them all at the same time for your guests. Remember I said high heat and dry meat. So the first thing you have to do is get a clean towel and dab your meat dry. So you want dry fat and dry meat. And what this is going to do is going to prevent your steak from steaming or boiling in its own juices. Okay, the next thing we have to do is season, and season liberally, because you're going to get some seasoning coming off during the cooking process. It won't stick to the meat if you season it afterwards. I'm going to light the griddle pan long in advance because I want it to be like ridiculously hot before I put the steak on there. Now, the first thing you'll see is that this steak has got a lot of fat. Now, if you cook the steak straight on its side, you're not actually going to cook this fat in the middle. And not only is this fat sort of healthy, but it's also flipping delicious. So you want to cook the fat first so that it crisps up, and then you can cook it on its side to even blue without serving it with raw fat. So we're going to put the fat side down first on the griddle pan. And you'll see it's hot, so the smoke and sizzle comes out immediately. You can use your tongs for this nifty little trick, and you squeeze them together, and then you pull your tong lever and then lock the tongs, and there they are. They'll hold the fat down. The other way you could do that is if you just put a skewer, or like 3 or 4 skewers through all the steaks, and then they'll hold together, they won't fall over. So you can see we've got some beautifully crisped up fat here, Now we can drop the steak on its side. Now there isn't enough space in this pan for all of them, so I'm going to choose the one that I'm going to serve medium rare. I'm going to take that out. And right now I'm going to decide, okay, this one's going to go medium well, and this one's going to go medium. When they are each 2 minutes away from being where I want them to be, I'm going to take them out, and then I know that all they need is 2 minutes back on the heat to be perfect. So all I'm doing with the griddle pan is getting color and lines on the meat. I'm actually going to do all of the cooking in the oven. So I've got color on my medium well one. I'm going to take that guy off. You can see he's got lines on both sides. See this? So what do you do with your smoking griddle pan? My recommendation is to either leave it outside or to drop it straight into a deep sink of water. We've got our 3 steaks and they're all sealed off, and now we decide which one's going to be which. So we decide this one is going to be medium well, this one's going to be medium, and this one's going to be medium rare. And we're going to finish them off in the oven. We're going to pull them in and out of the oven, and the moment the steak reaches almost done, we're going to take it out, and then slowly but surely we'll keep taking them out until the medium well one comes out, and then at the end they'll be on a tray. And then you can leave that in the fridge overnight or until your guests arrive, and then when you're ready to serve, all you do is you put the whole tray back in the oven for a few minutes. So here we go. That's about 2 minutes from medium rare. The rest go back in the oven a bit longer. And this one just goes back in. Yeah. While we're waiting for the other steaks to cook, I must just say, there's the feeling the butt of your thumb trick to tell the rarities. You can't really teach anyone that stuff. You just need to actually practice. So you cook them, you feel them, you cut them, you see what they're like, you push them, you feel them, you cut them. And to be honest, you may well find that you actually like your steak differently to how you thought you did. I always thought I liked mine blue, and now I actually like my steak sort of between medium rare and medium, and that's just from practicing cooking steak. And when I carve, I always eat the little leftover bits, and I found actually, hey, I enjoy the slightly better cooked bits. So what I've got here is 3 steaks that are 2 minutes away from being cooked. So I've done all the careful time management now. Now I can just relax. So imagine now my guests are arriving, the vegetables are warm, or everyone's got their salads. All I'm going to do is make sure my oven is preheated, and I'm going to pop all of these steaks next to each other on the same tray for 2 minutes, and they should all come out perfectly. So I'm holding thumbs. Here they are. They've been in for 2 minutes each, and you can see this one's medium well, this one's medium, and this one is medium rare. So we're going to let them rest for a couple minutes, and then we're going to carve them up. So here we go. This is the medium rare one. This is medium. And this is medium well. But more importantly, look at the medium rare one has got crispy fat, which is going to be warm and delicious even though the meat is still nice and pink on the inside. So next time you have a dinner party, This is how you're going to do it if you're going to do your steak night. And all of your guests will be blown away about how you managed to get all of your steaks done in just 2 minutes.